Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Pretty Little Liars, the winter premiere, Season 4, Episode 14, Who's in the Box? This episode, as expected, was very intense, a lot of big reveals in this episode. Not really big reveals, but we're starting to find out a lot more stuff, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I also like how Pretty Little Liars and Ravenswood are starting to connect, which I eventually thought was going to happen, and that's already starting to happen. So let's just get to the episode. So as we know, we had two big reveals when we last saw Pretty Little Liars. First one is that Ezra's A, and the other one is that Allison faked her death and is still alive. So we pick up pretty much right after the Halloween special, where they're trying to figure out, why'd she do this to us? What was the reason for her, not telling us she was alive? And they're starting to think more about reasons why she did this. And they kind of come up with this theory that they're going to visit different people who knew her. Maybe they'll find some ideas about it, and that's what they plan on doing. So then we go to one month later, and there's a lot that happens. So I first want to talk about Aria, and also they're actually very upset that Allison, did not tell them that she faked her own death. They are not happy that she's back. They're just, if anything, it's caused them more problems, and she's kind of screwed them over. So they do have a reason to be really upset about this. So I definitely enjoyed seeing that, because it wouldn't have been good if it was just like, oh yay, Allison is back, yay, best friend reunion. No, that's not what's going on here at all. It's not good at all that she is back. All she's done is created more chaos for them. Alright. So, I think I first want to talk about Aria and Ezra. Now, the big thing, of course, is that Aria does not know that Ezra is A, which I pretty much think that he is. Very sinister in this episode. Although the writers could be tricking us. They did do this with Mona last season. Season 3, they did this with Mona. They made her think she was this crazy psycho bitch, which she kind of is, but not as crazy as we thought she was. She actually was not A. And, that was definitely, I definitely, they could be trying to trick us, but I think at this point, it is Season 4. I think he is A. I think it's pretty much confirmed that he is, and that's good, because I'm kind of, getting a little tired of who is A thing. I think I know who it is. I think, Ezra is A. Although Aria could also potentially be A, which I'll get to. So two big things with Ezra in this episode. One, Mona. Ezra's having this conversation with Mona. Mona basically, wants to basically have him to tutor her, basically. They're talking about that and everything. And, she kind of starts to talk very suspiciously, like she's starting to figure out that he could be, is A. She kind of this tone in her voice, like she thought that he knew she was A. Like, she didn't actually come out and say it, but I think she kind of had this idea that he was A. I do kind of think that. And, definitely I do think that's what's going on. I am looking forward to seeing what else is going to happen. But of course, that was pretty big, because we did see, Ezra give her this look, like something is wrong, that, oh shit, she knows I'm A, what am I going to do? And then Aria. Aria is pretty big, because Aria could or could not know that, her boyfriend is A. At this point, I think she's part of the A team and is working with him. And there's one scene at the end that I will talk about. But, they're basically just trying to rekindle their relationship a little bit. The relationship overall is in a pretty good place right now. Although he does talk to her about keeping secrets and how important it is to, keep all their secrets with them and not tell anybody about them. This pretty much, I think, kind of gives me the idea that Aria is secretly working with Ezra and is actually part of the A-team, and she's not telling anybody about this. Now, yeah, it could be, a big twist, but I've always thought that one of the girls is A, and that they're eventually going to betray them. And that's exactly what I'm thinking is going to happen with Aria, because I think her and Ezra really just, they do have their secrets, and definitely this is one of their big secrets. And, he was talking to her about secrets, so I definitely think that this was, just a really big scene, in my opinion. And I do think that Aria, could potentially be A, so definitely just throwing that out there. So I really, then we see that, Ezra is, looking at something, basically. We don't know what it is, but, he's sitting in his bed, he's staring at this thing, and we don't know exactly what it's all about, but we'll have to see. Definitely, that was an interesting way to end things. Now let's go over to Hanna. Hanna, in my opinion, had the best plot of the episode. I really, really love where this is going. I really do. Because the way they're connecting Ravenswood and Pretty Little Liars is perfect, in my opinion. I could not think of a better way to connect these two shows together. Even though they are not similar at all. They're kind of similar, but they're not very similar at all. They're two very different types of shows. They are connecting them very, very well together. So Hanna gets this, email saying that, Caleb is coming back. It says anonymous, but I knew it was Caleb. They were trying to fool us and think it was someone else, but we all knew it was Caleb. And it says, you want to go for some coffee sometime. He gets there, he kisses her and everything, and they kind of have this conversation, and she's talking about, she asks him how things are going with Miranda. And he does not really answer her. He says, just fine. And he starts to kind of throw hints at her. Now, Hanna is getting the impression that he is cheating on her. That's the impression that she's getting right now, is that he's cheating on her. And, it's not that at all. And the thing with Caleb that I really love is that we know what's going on. Ravenswood really has affected their relationship tremendously. We know what's really going on in Ravenswood. But Caleb doesn't want to tell her any of this because if he would, she'd think he was crazy, basically. Because it does not sound like something that could actually happen. Like, if I went up to someone and said, hey, I live in a town full of ghosts, people would think I'm crazy. They'd send me to the insane asylum. That's how crazy it is. So, obviously, he can't tell her about that. But at the same time, he wants to tell her. And he even tells her about dead ghosts and everything. And she just starts to think that he's cheating on her and everything. And he tells her that he has to go back. And this is when she really starts to get suspicious. He tells her he has to go back. And he wants to go back and everything. And so he's leaving. And she's really upset that he's leaving. And she doesn't want him to leave. And he leaves and everything. But then he comes back because she tells him that they cannot leave like this. So they end up leaving and everything. And I think that scene in particular, where Hanna was hugging her mother, was an amazing performance from Ashley Benson. She did a really great job in this episode. She's hugging her mother and everything, and she's basically saying how she knows he's cheating on her. And she actually wants to go to Ravenswood with him. Obviously, this can't happen. However, I do feel two possible things are going to happen here. Actually three. One, I think Caleb is starting to fall in love with Miranda. We kind of did see that on Ravenswood. I do kind of think that's what's going on. But also, I think that he is going to take Hanna with him to Ravenswood eventually. And we're going to have some sort of a crossover. Because I do know that this is eventually all going to connect together. I do know that's what's going to happen. And the second thing that I think could happen is that the second thing that I think is going to happen is there's a breakup coming. I think they're gonna break up. I think this episode kind of confirms that there's gonna be a breakup and he's gonna go over to Miranda. Because that's what Ravenswood kind of is hinting at. That, that whole history thing that he has with Miranda, that's kind of going to affect all of this. I think definitely he's going to move on from Hanna, although we did see that he loves Hanna, and him and Hanna, our canon relationship, they're one of the biggest parts of the show, and they had a lot of chemistry together in this episode. Like, the chemistry was definitely right on the whole episode. Definitely that was great. And, but I do think that they are going to break up. I have this feeling that that's what's going to happen. So yeah, I really enjoyed their plot. I think, in my opinion, their plot was the most interesting in the episode. And then we have Emily. Now, Emily's plot, not much is going on with Emily. She's just talking to Paige about Allison and everything. And there's a lot we find out about Allison. We find out that Allison, Allison was, and still is bisexual. We do know that. She's bisexual and everything. And there was one time, and she reveals to Paige that there was one time when Allison did kiss her. And Emily actually started to get feelings for her. And Paige kind of asked her, are these feelings still here? And Emily starts to think that maybe she might still be in love with Allison, which is pretty big in my opinion, because I would have never thought of that. And I definitely do enjoy that, because it's interesting to see Emily's journey as a character. Honestly, I don't really like Emily and Paige together, so if they got Emily and Allison together, I'd be perfectly fine with that, because I just don't like Emily and Paige together. I don't like them as a couple. I just don't like them. There's been things that I have liked about them, but I just don't like them as a couple in this episode. I thought they were annoying, especially Paige. Paige was really annoying in this episode. Definitely, I think, you know, she was definitely really annoying. Alright, and the last thing is Spencer. Now, Spencer was kind of doing two things in this episode. One, she was trying to find out more about Allison and what's going on with her. But also, she was trying to help out Toby, because he wants to, you know, he will not accept the fact that his mother committed suicide. They go over to some, you know, I don't remember who it was, but it was some person that they were talking to, and she will not tell them anything, basically, and it was annoying that definitely that was going on. But now let's just talk about the ending of the episode, which was pretty big in my opinion. They find this, Hanna reveals to them about the journal that she took from Allison, and the reason she didn't want to tell them about it is because she, thought that all the stuff she sent him was really mean. She opens up the journal, and we cannot see what she says because it cuts immediately after that, so we did not really get to see what it said. And it was probably something like she didn't, you know, she's really mean to the girls and everything. So that's how the episode ended. And then we got, of course, our little A thing. Nothing that big, though. Nothing that, you know, earth-shattering with A. So yeah, this was definitely a really great episode. And as I expected, it was a great episode. I think definitely there was a lot of really great stuff in this episode. I really enjoyed it. One of the things that I just really, really loved about this episode was all this conflict that we have going on. Definitely, you know, I think, we had a lot of conflict going on this episode. There's just a lot going on in this episode. You know, you got the whole Aria and Ezra thing. Then you have, you know, her, the whole Hanna and Caleb thing, which in my opinion was the strongest part of this episode. And then you have the whole Allison, you know, the girls aren't exactly happy at Allison. And we did not really see Allison in this episode. We got one scene of her and her mother changing their sheets, and I was kind of upset about that. I would have wanted to see more Allison and the girls' confrontation. I'm sure that is coming up, though. But as we know, she wants to hide away from everybody. She doesn't want anyone to know she's alive. So anytime that anyone said she was dead, they had to accept that she, you know, that person thinks she's dead and doesn't know that she's actually alive. So yeah, overall, I really love this premiere. The questions I have for you guys, which I will, you know, link in the description below as usual. The biggest things are, you know, what do you guys think of this episode? I thought it was an amazing episode. Did you like the premiere? What do you think's gonna happen with Allison and the girls? Do you think they're going to forgive her for what she did eventually? Also, what did she write in that notebook that was so bad? What do you think that was about? Do you think Aria is actually part of Team A with Ezra, or does she not know at all, or is she completely naive? There's a lot going on there. Also, Hanna and Caleb, do you think they're going to break up, or do you think that he's going to take her to Ravenswood with him eventually? And also, Emily being in love with Allison. Did you guys suspect this? Do you think she's still in love with Allison? What do you think about that? Did you want more Allison confrontation? That's my only complaint about the episode, is that we didn't get a lot of that. But that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. And my next video, which will be for tomorrow morning, I will be reviewing to you the season premiere of Justified, which I cannot wait for. So I'll see you guys for that. Bye.